Damon Markowitz along with Bruce Landon coming to you from the Student Prince and Fort Restaurant in downtown Springfield. Longtime supporters, appreciate them having us in here today. And another topic that we wanted to get through on the Facebook and the Twitters, and please don't forget about those social media outlets. They're updated daily and hourly, especially this week with a lot going on. But the other news that came out during the week, either Tuesday or early Wednesday, was the Winnipeg franchise, the NHL returning to Winnipeg. A lot of questions on Facebook this week as far as how that, of course, the Manitoba Moose were in Winnipeg for many, many years, how the NHL going into Winnipeg affects our league.
Well, there's going to be, I think over the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some announcements coming out of the league office. As the governor for our franchise, certainly we're under sort of direction from the league as to what we can talk about publicly and what we can't talk about when it affects other cities or other franchises. So certainly, because I'm the governor for our franchise, I'm aware of what's going on behind the scenes, but it's not fair to me to sort of jump the gun on other cities and stealing their thunder by releasing or announcing things. But there's definitely going to be a shakeup. The Manitoba Moose have to play somewhere. There's a lot of rumors out there as to what's going to happen, but I think we'll see over probably, I would think, in the next week, 10 days, there are going to be some major announcements, not just with perhaps what Manitoba's going to do with their AHL franchise, but also maybe how it has a little domino effect on some affiliations and other cities in our league as to who they may be affiliated with, because, you know, with Atlanta, who was affiliated with Chicago in our league, Atlanta now going to Manitoba, Chicago now has to find a partner, and you know, there's some rumors, you know, right now, rumblings of some changes going to be made in Portland. Again, this is all public knowledge. I'm not saying anything people don't know about, with maybe Buffalo Sabres looking to buy the Rochester Americans, which means Portland would be looking for an AHL franchise. So there's going to be a shakeup. There's never stability, it seems like, in our league, Damon. It's some years are worse than others. We've gone through it in the past. It's nice that for one year we're sitting here knowing that we're all set with our affiliate and our lease and ready to rock and roll next year. But there's going to be some shakeups and some changes, and I think fans be patient. They'll see it all come into place here soon.
You mentioned that as far as our franchise here, and what a difference a year makes. You know, right now we're sitting here stable.
Right.
You know, ownership stability in the ownership came in December. Affiliation. When you're changing affiliates, how important is it to be stable, especially these months where you build your hockey team, and how different is it this summer compared to last summer as far as working with Columbus and putting a plan out there to make sure we have a competitive hockey team?
Well, I think that's a good point. Last year, in dealing with Columbus, when we put the deal together to go into last season, you know, there was that sort of uncharted territory. We weren't familiar. I mean, we had a new coaching staff, we had new training staff. You know, we're trying to get to know players. I was trying to get to know the AGM of Columbus, who I'd be dealing with on free agents. Obviously, I knew Scott Housen from years back, the GM of Columbus. So, you know, it was sort of getting to know one another type thing, even for you and other members of my staff, and how we work. You know, we work closely with Columbus in a lot of different areas, as you know. So there was that sort of preparation, getting to know one another, and then trying to build a team going into last year. And I thought, again, even though we didn't make the playoffs, for the most part, the team was very exciting to watch. Fans enjoyed it. I thought Columbus did a great job in the offseason last year by signing free agents for us. Actually, as we've talked about, maybe too good of a job because two of them made the big club. But they addressed our problems as we went through the season and spent some money over and above their budget, which we have to remember. Even the NHL teams have a certain budget to work with here in Springfield. Unfortunately, we had the losing streak, which took us out of the playoffs. So now the difference is going into this year. Rob Riley's back, Brad Larson's back. You know, we're familiar with Columbus. I'm familiar with Chris and Scott and how they operate. I've even had meetings with Mike Priest, their president, who visited us here in Springfield, loved our operation, loved our organization, loved our facility, the city, and everything we have to offer. So I think as we go forward here in the AHL with 30 NHL teams, 30 AHL teams, you need to find a partner. I think you're going to have to find a partner that you're comfortable with, and you may have to take your bumps along the way, but as we saw Binghamton did with Ottawa for years, and now they're in the Calder Cup Finals. So I think if we can establish a relationship with Columbus that works, and we get a team this year that we're happy with, you know, long term, maybe we'll be affiliated with the Blue Jackets for years to come. However, that's something I say here in June. Things can change in November, so we'll see.
Damon Markowitz along with Bruce Landon, another edition of Falcons Web TV, as we come to you from the Student Prince and Fort Restaurant in downtown Springfield. Great spot, great supporters here in downtown Springfield. Don't forget our social media streams and Facebook and Twitter. go to falconsahl.com. You'll see the official links to both the Facebook and the Twitter, updated hourly, daily. There's no such thing as off seasons anymore, as the social media just becoming a very important part of our franchise as we continue through the off season. And want to get into a topic here, the Boston Bruins. Comes up every week on the Facebook chats. Always ideas as far as how we could try to capitalize on the buzz, and ironically they had game 1 of the Stanley Cup Finals Wednesday night when everything was hitting here in Massachusetts. Got a little overshadowed a little bit, and rightly so. One idea that came up on the Facebook chats was opening up the Mass Mutual Center and playing the Bruins games in the Mass Mutual Center, where you can invite people down to watch the game. We could sell tickets, we could sell merchandise. In a nutshell, how possible is it to do something like that, of playing a Bruins game in the Mass Mutual Center on the video board and inviting people coming down to watch it?
Well, we've talked about this, as you know, in the past on different events. Couple of problems as I see it. One is the Mass Mutual Center right now is pretty busy.
Yeah.
They've got a lot going on with, graduations, and they had a prom the other night, and of course now we're also sort of in the hub of all the disaster area, if you will, which isn't too far from us. And so I don't know if it's going to be feasible from that standpoint. Secondly, there's an issue when we looked into this in the past, an issue with being able to take a telecast, which in this case is NBC, and showing it on a major video board like our building. Now I know they can do this with certain things in certain bars. Some of our great friends around here, JT's and other places, have things like that. But we've looked into the past, and you're not allowed to take that kind of production and put it on a major screen here in a building without it being a very significant fee, from what I understand. But again, it's something we've looked at in the past, and it's a great idea. It's something I think if we should consider, and perhaps I dropped the ball thinking about it once before and didn't follow through on it. So we'll promise the people that are asking that going forward, perhaps not this year because time is tight now, but going forward next year, if something like this happens, perhaps we can find a way to do it.
And one last item, Bruce, just want to touch upon is the merchandise side of things. And we have a nice little special going right now for Father's Day, the Father's Day special, a hat and a t-shirt for only $20. Just a quick recap as far as how that plays into everything, and how these little holidays we're trying to capitalize with finding some kind of little niche for the fathers out there.
Well, we've been good at doing this through Christmas time, and I think now, again, it goes back to we're controlling our own merchandise. We've brought that back in-house. We own our merchandise rights now, so we can do some creative things, creative pricing. We can put prices together based on what we want to do. And again, I go back to Charlie and some suggestions he's made. He wants us to do some things, not worried so much about the markup of making as most money as you can on a golf shirt or a t-shirt or a hat, but getting it into the people's hands so they can wear it. So because of Charlie's feelings on that, we're always watching our bottom line as we have to, but we don't have to mark things up 100%. We can take an item and mark it up a little bit to cover a lot of our costs, certainly, but this is why we can do things like Father's Day specials, and going forward we'll do others as well, and I think we'll get a good response from it. And we want to get people wearing our logo. I noticed today I'm wearing the old logo, so shame on me, but I just happen to like this golf shirt, so I threw it on this morning. But you guys, you and Steven behind the camera, have the new logo on, so I had to get that out so people wonder why I'm wearing it. But it just happens to be a comfortable golf shirt, and I wasn't ready to throw it away yet. But the merchandise is something we're going to be doing some creative things, as you know, with that. If we're going to have a game around Halloween night, we're probably going to come out with an orange t-shirt of some sort. St. Patty's Day, if we have a game then. Maybe a green shirt. So it allows you to do some fun. If we've got a very popular player this year, we can put his face on a t-shirt. So there's different things you can do with our merchandise that we've sort of been handcuffed over the last few years, haven't been able to do.
Bruce, thanks for joining us again. We'll see you next week. I think I got another idea downtown here somewhere. We'll announce that later in the week, but another spot I think you'll like as well.
I'm sure you have a lot of ideas, David.
It's filled with them. But thank you again for watching us, and once again, thanks to the Student Prince and Fort Restaurant here in downtown Springfield for hosting us. Don't forget the social media streams and Facebook and Twitter, and check out falconsahl.com for all the updates as far as tornado relief here, not only downtown but throughout the Pioneer Valley and all the surrounding communities. Feel free to check out falconsahl.com. We'll have updates as far as where you can make donations that we'll be part of. So thanks again for watching us out there, and we'll see you next week. Take care.